Swimming brilliantly done, Broadbent. Talk about the big steal, and then he coughs it up to Corey. Bartel. Yes, Jimmy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, if you've watched the Friday night press conference, or is it the Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night press conference, you would know that I'd already gone through all those games. There was 3 games left to go through, which is the Sunday games. So we're going to go through those today. We're going to go through my team. Okay, I'm going to show you my team, which you've already seen it, but I'm going to see how it went. And we're going to show you a couple of the leagues, that's all the Legends League, which is all the guns of the game, how we all went. We now go to the first game, Melbourne and the Dogs. And if you watched our Captain's Corner, our experts had picked Gawn, well, 3 of them did, pick Gawn as a captain, and we had 6 of them pick Bont as a captain. Well, Bont did okay. We got a 126. We're happy with that. We're always going to happy to take 125 plus. But the Gawn, he went 160. He went nuts. Okay. Now let's go through the Melbourne team. Now we've got Gawn going at 162, and last week Gawn stated that he was injured. We noticed that he had it looked like a sore knee, okay, but apparently it was only knee bruising, so it wasn't that bad. So Gawn scoring 162, so you don't have him, it's going to hurt. So you want to have Gawn on your team. Now Billings is the interesting one. He scored 142 fantasy points. That's insane, okay. 119 Supercoach points. Had 20 kicks, 3 handballs, 15 marks. This is the big one. 15 marks. That means he was always making himself present to get that short kick, and then he'll probably short kick it back. I mean, if you got 20 kicks, they're not going to be all long kicks. So he probably had a lot of little short kicks here and there. He's become a player that the way Melbourne play, when you take 15 marks, that rings alarm bells. It says or the green alarm bells. It says you have to get him. Just come it down. Anyway, he's a forward at 119. I have to get him anyway. You don't have to, but I have to get him. 119 Supercoach points. Could have been more. Could have been 140 odd, similar to his dream team. But the problem with Billings is he doesn't have that contested possession, only 4. So his kicks are just pretty much short kick. He runs, makes a lead, they pass to him. Then he kicks it back. So it's just little short chip kicks. On a wet day, he's no good, okay? If it's going to rain, he's going to be no goods. But on a dry day, he's a very goods. Now, let's go to, we've got Petrarca doing his usual. I mean, he's virtually scoring what he has to score for his price, all right? But Oliver, he scored a 105. Now, that's low again, okay? And so for his price, it's very low. Now, he's going to be at a stage soon where we'll have to get him in, and he's almost warming up to it. He had 35 disposals, so that's telling me get ready for him. Now, this week, he may cop the tag, or they may tag Petrarca, because he plays Hawthorn. So we'll see how that goes. But get ready for Oliver. If we have to bring him in, hopefully we can get him in. He's probably going to still cost around, if he's going to get 35 touches, he's not going to be cheap. So you're probably going to spend about $600K for him regardless. Now, is anyone else relevant? Well, Salem we were eyeing in the preseason with the new role, but it's not working. It's not Supercoach relevant for us, so that's a pass. Caleb Windsor, he actually looked really good. Scored 72. He looked really good, and they subbed him off. He could have gone 100. I was actually very impressed with the boy. So that's one to consider, but the fact that they subbed him off is not good, okay? But he actually looks really good. Now, we got Howes. Scored a 64. He did what he had to do. We got Hoare. Scored a 60. He did what he had to do. I might actually get Hoare in. We can wait for Hoare for another week. There's no hurry. But you can get him in this week if you've got other things to do next week and you got other fish to fry. Now, for the Dogs, the Bont, at a quarter time, he was on 40 odd. Okay, he was looking good. I mean, he still scored good. This is an average score for the Bont. He was looking like a Gaunt at a 160-ish, but I think he got tired. It was a hot day, so he got stuck on the 126, but that's not complain. Now, Tim English, he did what he had to do, scored the 119, so that's a good score for him. Now, going down here, Libba scored a 92, had 13 contested possessions, but the thing with Libba, one tackle. Now, when has Libba ever had one tackle in a game? I can't remember the last time I've seen Libba with one tackle. So don't worry too much about the score of Libba's. Don't let it scare you. One tackle. He's normally a 5 or 6 tackle man, so that's not much, one tackle. Something must be wrong with him. Now, if you go further down, we go right down. We got to Camis. He looked impressive, okay, but only scored 51. He's not going to score a lot of points. It's going to be a slow, keep him on the bench. He's going to score some points, but not a lot of them. But he'll score enough, okay, so he'll make some money. He'll make about 100k for you, 120. So just keep him on the bench. Caulfield, the same as Camis, okay, 49, it's not much, all right, so he did his job. Caleb Daniel came on in one quarter, scored 45, had 12 touches. That's worrying if you've got Sanders, who got subbed out because he made a mistake. And, well, maybe he didn't get subbed out for that mistake, but it just looked like it, because as soon as he made that mistake, Bevo took him off, then subbed him out. Just come down, Bevo! And everyone got upset. I mean, everyone's had him on field. 43, he ruined them. But he was going okay, 68 fantasy points. It was not like he was going bad. He had 15 touches till three-quarter time. So he's still getting his touches. The only problem here is Caleb Daniel. Now, what if Bevo puts Caleb Daniel on field next week and then has Sanders as the sub? Okay, so just something to be... I mean, it's the best 18 next week anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so just... You could put him on field or on the bench, doesn't matter. And now further down, we've got Harms. Now, Harms scored 35. It was actually a disappointing game. He had 5 tackles, Harms. Okay, so he's tried his best. 5 tackles, 11 touches. He went 54%. It wasn't a good game for Harms. And if you own Harms, what are you going to do? Okay, I would say most of you would be rate trading by now. Okay, it didn't look good. We now go to Port Adelaide versus West Coast. Now, it was a hot day. Okay, and Ivan Soldo, he went nuts. Now, Zach Butters, 117. And to be honest, the owner's probably disappointed with that, because against West Coast, you'd expect Butters to go more, because he had actually more CBAs as well. Now, Connor Rosie, 114. Now, these are good scores, okay? Don't get me wrong, okay? But some people would have captained Butters, knowing he would go nuts against the West Coast. So when I say you'd be disappointed, not as an owner, but as an owner that made him a captain, you'd be disappointed. Now, Houston... there's too many 100s here. There's too much points to share at West Coast. At Port Adelaide. So we've got a problem if you've got too many. Look at the points they're sharing. Okay, now, the Horny Man, he went 112. Dixon even got on the scoreboard. Now, Kane Farrell's an interesting one. He's priced at 430k. He's had 2 good weeks in a row now. I can't remember what he scored last week, but I'm sure it was quite good. I remember it. Now, Ollie Wines, he only had 40% or 50% CBAs. I think it was 50. Hinkley said he's going to have 80. Okay, so what happened? Now, I'm blaming the weather. Okay, so possibly it was the weather that reduced his CBAs. And he didn't have as much time on ground, 65% time on ground. So it's not like he spent a lot. It was a hot day, like I said. So that could be the excuse. We're going to watch him again next week. And if it's similar output with not much CBAs, I'd be very worried. Okay, and look, I'm an owner, so I am worried. Okay, so we'll see how we go. Now, going further down, is there anyone else of interest? Well, Francis Evans, not really. That's about it. And Mead didn't do much. Okay, so if you got Mead in his 200k, he didn't do much. We now go to West Coast. Now, Elliot Yeo, 96. Again, it was a hot day, okay? And he did what he had to do. For his price, it's good enough. He could have done more, okay, but he didn't. and I really wanted him to go about 105. But we'll take the 96. It was a hot day, okay? Every time I looked at Elliot, he was on the bench. But with West Coast, their bench is usually not long periods. They don't stay on for long, only 2 or 3 minutes, and they come back on. Whereas at Port Adelaide, when they go on the bench, they stay like 5 or 6 minutes and come back on. So West Coast play their bench a bit differently. McGovern is interesting, probably a pass, but interesting. Okay, 470k, scored a 110. Now, going further down here, Harley Reid, he scored 78. He actually looked really, really good, really good. But unfortunately, he didn't score much. He had 16 touches, 87%. No, 72% time on ground. So his time on ground was limited. At one stage, it was like 50 odd. Okay, so it was a hot day. So he's only going to get better. So the kids are Jets. If we go further down, I don't know if there's any more West Coast players that are actually Supercoach relevant. I don't think there are. Okay, that's about it. If you got Wiverton, 53, just cover there all this rubbish. This was the game that hurt me the most. Okay, all weekend, there was games that hurt me. This one hit me where it hurts the most. Okay, now, at the time, a lot of the teams, I was way ahead with my Supercoach team, and I was hoping for a top 200 type of score because I thought I'd get it. But then Caleb Sarong goes and scores a 170. Okay, ruined everything for me. And 46 touches. I mean, I knew the kid's good, but I never knew he was this good. Every time I looked, it's Caleb Sarong's there. And contested possessions, 21 contested possessions. And that's your bread and butter, the contested possessions. He had 21 of them. If you don't, now you got to find a way, okay? You can't afford to let everyone get 170 points on a weekly basis or 150 points. There's got to be a way where you got to get him in. And when do you get him in? Okay, do you get him in round after a bye round, or do you wait till upgrade season? Okay, now, if you wait till upgrade season, well, the first hit's going to be on Oliver. Okay, so you got to get the cash for Oliver first. You get him, and then what do you do with Sarong? Okay, so you have to get extra cash and get Sarong. So this hurts. Watching Sarong, he went nuts. So 170 Supercoach points, and if you got him, kudos. You've done so good. And he's on my list to get this week. I have to get him. Because without him, watching him go 170, he's going to become a weapon. Okay, he's become like my weapon. He's a different one. I have to get him. Now, Luke Ryan is another one. He can go, the way Fremantle play, they just kick the ball backwards to Luke Ryan. Then they kick the ball forward. Every team goes for Luke Ryan. So he's very, very good. And I've got to find a way to get him as well. Now, he could probably end up probably the best defender this year. If Freo play the way they played today or yesterday, he can become one of the best defenders because he's going to always score this big. He takes all the kick-ins, every single one of them. Like Brisbane had 10 behinds, he would have kicked all of them. Like, I didn't look, I'm just guessing, but he just loves the ball. So Ryan's almost become, you have to get him. I mean, if he scores a 110 or a 90, there's going to be a day where he scores 170. Now, Luke Jackson, he scored a 113. I think the owners would be disappointed, okay? They would have expected more, considering that they know Shrek's coming back. And with Shrek coming back, his score's going to drop more. And with that 113, he kicked 2 goals, okay? And playing in the ruck, he's not going to do that every week. So, and because he kicked those 2 goals, he's probably going to play forward a lot more because he can't kick the goals, okay? Because Jaya Miss kicked 4 goals, he kicked 2, Josh Treacy kicked free, but a goal-scoring player like Jackson, he's going to play forward once Strick comes back. Now, if we go further down, Nat Fyfe. Now, I didn't have Nat Fyfe in my team because I picked Jordan. I'm still happy that I picked Jordan because Jordan is now on the bubble, whereas Nat Fyfe is on the bubble next week. Okay, so Jordan still was a correct call for me, and I probably missed out on 15 points. But Nat Fyfe, the coach said he's going to play forward, 50-50. Okay, well, not 50-50, but he said Nat Fyfe will play deep forward. Okay, and midfield. Well, that didn't happen because Nat Fyfe played midfield, scored the 103. He looked like the old Nat Fyfe, just a little bit slower, but still like the old one. 13 contested possessions. Okay, that's where he got his points from because he had six kicks and 15 handballs. He's become a must-have, but I have to get him next week. Okay, as long as he's injury-free, he'll be in the top 6 forwards this year. Brayshaw, 102, if you got him, I'd be a little bit worried because of Sarong and Fyfe and Young, which we'll get to in a minute, actually. Let's get to Young now. Young scored 95 fantasy points, okay? Just to show you, Fyfe had 86, so there's a bit of a difference there. But the problem with Young, he had 11 of his what do they call it? Clangers. He had 11 clangers. That's massive. I've never seen someone have 11 clangers before. And Young doesn't usually have that many clangers. He is a very good kick. So it didn't make sense. And every time, he even gave away a 50-metre penalty. So this score of Young's, of 70, it could have been over 100 easily. So we're going to watch Young again because they've lost a few defenders now. Warner played defence. Cox played forward, but McDonald was defence as well. So they've got 2 to replace. They've got replacements in the club. So we'll see how Young goes once they're all replaced. But Young did look impressive in that midfield. Just the fact that the 11 clangers sort of killed him. And that's pretty much it. Actually, there's one more player here, Sharp. 14 kicks, 4 handballs. That's a good ratio, okay? And he looked good. 18 touches, 14 of them kicks. And he's cheap. So keep an eye on Sharp. We now go to Brisbane. Now, unfortunately, in Brisbane, there's nobody that's really Supercoach relevant, okay? The only one that's left that's Supercoach relevant is Jared Lyons, who scored an 81. And I think that score of 81 would have put people off, and because it was a lot lower than 81, and they got Lachie Neale coming back. So I think the interest will be gone now, and there's pretty much no one else. And now McKenna's injured. There's no one here of interest. I mean, you might be interested in Andrews or Dunkley, okay? So they're 2 players of interest. But they got the bye round this week as well, so they're not even playing next week, so it's probably irrelevant even going through the Brisbane team. We now go over to our score, and we scored a 22.51, which is a top 3%. Now, considering the amount of spuds we had, okay, they combined with the spuds and studs together, and they worked hard. Now, the studs had to do all the work, but the spuds were just hanging around. They're very smelly, the spuds. Anyway, 22.51. We're ranked 5,215, which is not bad, but is not good, but we'll get there. We now get over to the team. Now, there's a few changes that need to be done in this team, okay, because we had a few spuds. We saw Sarong go nuts. We have to get him in, okay? Now, how are we going to do this? Now, what I want to do, all right, eventually, all right, I need to have Dacos, Sheezel, hopefully Young, okay, hopefully Yo, Williams, and Massimo here. All right, so that's the plan. We need Massimo there. In our midfields, we want to have the Bont, Green, Rowell, Sarong over here, and Crouch. These are the main 5. Now, Wines, I'm not sure about at the moment. I'm worried about his role. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. So Wines is in danger of losing his spot next week. Bonner staying, And the rookies, I mean, it's best 18 now, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so they can stay for now. Our rucks, I'm happy with, all right, but Grundy, I want to upgrade him and become English later on. English still looks so good, and he was sort of hurt, and he still played well. Now, our forward line is a little bit of a disaster right now and needs a lot of fixing. Now, Heaney we're happy with. Jordan we're happy with. The Fish, now, the Spud, we're not happy with the Spud. He's got to go. Now, people are saying right now, why don't I give Martin a chance? Okay, there's no Redmond this week. Why don't you just let Martin, watch how he plays? There's no Redmond, and he'll score well. Well, I agree. He'll score very well this week. Okay, I hope he scores 150 this week. Okay, he's gonna go nuts. There's only one small problem. What happens when Redmond comes back? Okay, Martin had 3 kick-ins. Redmond had 6, and one of the other players, McGrath, had 5. So Martin was third choice, and that's right down the bottom, third choice. They didn't want him to have the ball. So Martin, even though he may do well this week, is he going to be in my midfield end of the year? I don't think so, okay? I've got to bring Fife in here, okay? I've got to bring Billings in here. That's 2 already. I've got to bring in Massimo into defence, okay? That's 3. And I've got to also bring in McKercher in here somehow, okay? That's 4. Plus, I have to also bring in a gun mid in here, okay? Because Martin's not it, okay? So Martin's gone. I can't keep Martin. I can't watch football with Martin in my team. Just coming down. So Martin's gone. So who are we going to bring in now, you may ask? Well, we look at our the top 3 are guns. Okay, we've got Bonds, Green, and Rowell. They're guns. Crouch, not as good as these boys, but he's a gun if he gets more time on ground. He's as good as these boys if they give him some more extra time. So I need another player in the same mould. I want a contested possession beast. Okay, because on a wet day when it rains, how's Martin going to play? I mean, okay. They play undercover a lot because of the undercover ground they got, but they're going to travel, okay? So I'm not sure on Martin. So I'm going to go for next best, and that's Sarong, all right? So Sarong is the boy, and I have to get him in now. I'm 127k short of getting Sarong because I don't have enough cash, okay? So the next step is I'm going to trade out Fisher. I don't want him. And plus, I need his cash. I virtually need both Martin and Fisher's cash to get Sarong. Plus, that also gives me Billings. And it's only 2 trades. And I can confirm that. Click the confirm button. Now, the only problem here is the players that I really want, there's 4 of them, which we just mentioned. Massimo, McKercher, and Fife. Plus, there's also Reed, which I'm sort of interested, okay? But I don't have to have Reed, not must have, because Reed scored 78. My players here, they're scoring 60s, that's enough, because they're a lot cheaper. They're going to make the same cash. Actually, these ones will probably make more cash than Reed, because of how low their prices are. So, Reed's not a must-have. McKercher, I'm going to watch another week. He might not be a must-have. But where am I going to find the cash to bring in McKercher? So, virtually, I need 300 for 5, 285, say 300, 224 for Massimo, so that's 500, and another 200 for McKercher. That's roughly about 720k. Now, where do I get 720k from? Okay, I don't have 720k here, but my team's going to look much better with them 3 in there. So, next week, Young, Elliot Yeo, and Wines, the 3 of them are on high alerts because one of them is going to go. Now, I don't know which one. So I'm giving all 3 of them boys a chance. Now, even though Yeo scored 96, Wines scored 94, and Young scored 70, a normal person would say, what's wrong with that? Just coming down. Well, I'm just trying to balance the team. And that's why. I'm not trading out Yeo because he's not good, because that's what I was expecting from Yeo, a 96. Okay, I'm not trading out Wines because he's not good, because I was expecting about a 95 to 105 from him. And but I need to balance the team Because when it gets to best, now when it comes to best 22, I don't have. I'm going to field 60s. I'd rather field hundreds in here instead of the 60s. Okay, so they have to be replaced. That's the problem. And so that's what balancing is. So you want to maximize points on field, and that 96 that Yo scores or the 94 that Wine scores, I get that same 90 odd or even 100 odd from Fife. So virtually Fife at 285k can score the same as Yo at 447k, and so can Massimo at 224k. So why have a 447k player sitting here? We're not going to have a 224k player just coming down. So that's why one has to go. Just a matter of which one, I don't know yet. That's just for team balance, okay? We now go over to the Scodfather group, and Peter from the Will Be Champions, okay? His team became a champion team. He's got a Ferrari, scored a 188. Let's have a look at Wilby's team, what it looks like. What's he done with his team? And we've got Dacos, Stewart, and Shizu. That's a good start there, okay? The three of them. So note, he doesn't have Young in here, okay? Now, he's going to have to find a way also to bring in Massimo, so he might have to go through Williams. Where's he going to get his cash from? He's actually got the weapon as well, Raul. He's got Green. He's got Sarong just coming down. He's got the awesome foursome. Actually, that's where you can get money from Martin, okay? But he's done well. He's done very good. Very proud of you, Will Be Champions. Now, the forward line... He's got Flanders, Heaney, he's got Fife, he's got Jordan as well, he's got Reed, so that's a balanced forward line there. He's done his team very well, very impressive, doesn't have to do many changes, so it's actually a very good team. The only thing, a few changes in the midfield, he's got to strengthen that midfield up, and that's about it. But that's a very good team, Peter, well done. Now, let's have a look at the second team. The Bullfrogs. It's Ben's team. Now he's ranked 224. He scored 23.54. He did well. He did good as well. Now he's got Young. He's also got Whitfield. So he's gone very. He actually had Ambrosios. That's a balanced defense. Even though Williams didn't score much, Williams is capable of scoring 90s. Okay, so that's a very well balanced defense. Now in the midfield, he's gone for Holmes. He's on the Bonner train, okay, and he's gone for McKercher and Sanders. So this is a good team, and he's got Gorn there. He captained, who did he captain? Dacos, okay. And he's gone for Jackson, Flanders. He's gone for the Fish. It's very well balanced again. It's another good team, and you can tell a very well balanced team usually scores well. Now he's lost his balance in that midfield though. The balance is gone over here. McKercher's strong, but these two aren't. So he needs to find balance somewhere here to get these two up, okay? Because that's 100 points between two players. It's not good enough. And so you're going to have to find something here. We've all got deficiencies right now because we only got 10 mil. So you've got to find sort of a balance somewhere. Now we go to the votes because we've got a best and fairest vote. Now Peter gets 10 votes, okay, because he came first. The top 10 get 10 points. So Peter from Will Be Champions is getting 10 points. Ben from the Bullfrogs, he gets 9 points. Brett, hang on, what's going on here? We've got two Bullfrogs and two of the... Ben and Brett from the Bullfrogs. there's something fishy going on there. Just coming down. Now, Ben and Brett, obviously Brett's team, I mean, we saw Ben's team. Now, Brett's team is identical to Ben's team, okay? Is it? It must be. It's the same thing. So he's got two teams, but two different names. Okay, very interesting, Ben. Very sharp. Okay. Now, we go to the third team. Now, I'm not sure if we should eliminate these two or not. No, we'll keep them in there for now, but it's very interesting. Now, John, Lion, actually, they get 9 points each, and then John gets 7. Josh from Northball, he gets 6. Tiger Time, that's my mate Victor. He gets 5 votes. Kevin the D's gets 4 votes. Libers Ashes Tons gets 3 votes, and also on 3 votes Jack is Steel, and we get 1 vote goes to actually they got to share it. 10th and 11th got the equal score. So Charles, the Maltese Falcons, is my friend, and also Paul, side by side bottom, they get 1 point each. We now go over to the Supercoach Legends. Okay, this is the Big Boys League. Now, this is where we got players like the Mini Monk from Dr. Supercoach. Sorry, I'll start again. Mini Monk from Coach's Panel. Okay, we got Damon from Supercoach Edge. We got Jackson. Well, we all know who Jackson is. Now, that's JD. And we got Ray Magoo, last year's winner, well, the 2 years ago's winner. So they're all playing against each other here, okay? So our current leaders, we got Damon just outscoring the Mini Monk by 19 points. We had Ben from Supercoach Insiders, had a good win over Dr. Supercoach's Pistol, okay, a close game. Now, we had Al Payton, he went nuts this week. Bryce Mitchell had a day to remember. Okay, so he'll come back. So it was Bryce Mitchell he probably had the spuds that I had in my team just coming down. Now, Selby had a big win over MJ from Coach's Panel. It was a big one there, 100-point victory. Now, Supercoach with DR. Okay, we all know the young man. And he beat Stephen, which is, I can't remember these names anymore. There's too much. SD Supercoach. Okay, so it was a close game, 8-point victory. We had Daniel Batson. He got defeated by Geordie. Okay, George's Terror Squad. A big win there by George. Now, we had Supercoach Horse. Okay, and he had a big win over Joe from Centre Bounce. Joe's had a few spuds like I have as well, so Joe's going to get them out of his team. Now, my spuds, unlucky for Tim, because he would have beaten a lot of these teams in this group, but unfortunately for Tim, my spuds had a day out. Just coming down! So that's Tim Mitchell, as you would know. Now, we had Jana, the third man up, against Swizz from Supercoach Insiders, and Jana had a good win. He's very happy now. Now let's have a look at the league. At the moment, on top, we have Al Payton. Okay, he's killing it. 1 win. Okay, percentage 111.1, and well, Abs Magic is second. We got Geordie in there. We got a few of the big guns, big boys. JD's in there. So we've got all the big boys in there, and down the bottom, we've got to get Bryce Mitchell up, and we've got to get Tim Mitchell. Unfortunately for Tim, he faced Abs Magic. Okay, couldn't handle it. Abs Magic was a bit strong, had the weapon, just coming down. Now, all the Scodfather leagues. Okay, Scodfather Cup number 1. Abs Magic versus Engo, who's my friend. Okay, the Rolls. Actually, I chat to Engo every day. Okay, because he's got a Rolls Royce and he wants to build a Ferrari. Okay, he's trying his hardest, but his Rolls Royce, it can't match the Ferrari. Just coming down. So anyway, Engo had a bit of a defeat there, and we played the Wolves. Okay, Jonathan from the Wolves, he had a good game. It's 21-84. It's a big score, and well, unfortunately for him, my weapon sort of did some damage. It was a 22-51, and that's pretty much it for the Scodfather Cups. The way I see it now, everyone sees Supercoach and everyone plays Supercoach with different ideas, different philosophies. Okay, so I play it very unorthodox, as you know. Okay, if you didn't know that, there's something wrong. So my philosophy, okay, is not to wait. Okay, I know people like to wait, and I'm actually being very fair to 3 of my players. I'm waiting for them. Okay, that's very unusual for me. Look, I'm waiting for these 3 boys to prove to me that they're worthy. Okay, so I don't usually do that. I usually get rid of them straight away, but I'm going to wait for them. I'm going to give Young a chance. I'm going to give Wines a chance and Yo a chance. Whichever one is the bigger spud, they're going to go. Just come it down. Now, my philosophy in this game is to get this team to be absolutely Mickey Mouse as soon as possible, okay? Because you're going to play against and fight against teams that are like highly ranked, okay? So you got to beat them, All right, now, for example, let's go to number 5. I haven't checked these teams out, okay? So let's check one out. Let's go to number 5. Now, these are highly ranked teams. He's got Cunningham. That's interesting. Okay, let's go to number 1. Just cover the L. We'll pick another team. He's got Blakey. What's going on? Okay, hang on, let's go down. All right, let's go to the Bulldog. Okay, now he's got Cunningham as well. What's happening here? Why's everyone got Cunningham? All the leaders got Cunningham. Okay, have I missed the memo on Cunningham? Now, all the good teams. Okay, they're gonna have like the Warners. Well, he's got Warner in there, which is different. He's got Sarong, no Bond in this team. But you've got to build your team as quick as possible and as strong as possible, as early as possible. Okay, everything is possible. So if you've got 6 targets like I have, and I showed you my 6 targets, okay, how am I supposed to get these 6 targets in next week? All right, how do I get Fife in next week? How do I get McKercher in next week? How do I bring in Massimo next week? How do I do all that if I don't trade this week? And that's why I've traded this week. Now, there's another trade that I can do, and I'm thinking about, and that's Clark to Sharp. And that's just a sideways trade. Sharp scored a 70-odd. Clark only scored a 13. Now, Clark played the whole game. Scored 13, so that was scary. Whereas Sharp, he's more sharp. Okay, he's on the wing, very sharp. So I like Sharp's game. If I don't trade out Clark to Sharp this week, I can't get Sharp next week because I'm going to bring in Fife and the other 2 boys next week. So how do I get Sharp in? Do I need Sharp? That's another question. Do I need him? Or do I need Berry from Gold Coast? Do I need him? Well, I don't, because how do I fit him in? He's only going to make 100k, and all my other players, they'll all make 100k. So I don't really need to get his 100k urgently, okay? So I'll wait. So I'm going to pass on Berry, although his break-even is minus 75. That's huge. And but if he scores a 50 this week and a 50 next week, he makes 100k. Which is okay. It's nothing wrong with that. But these boys, I just wait a bit longer. They're not 150k. There's no rush for the 100k. So I'm just going to pass. And so my philosophy is trade. Don't wait. And what am I waiting for? Do I want to see Sarong score another 150 and then decide to get him in? What am I going to wait for? Okay, so just get him in now. I know what he can do. I've seen him last year. He's a gun. He scored 140s for fun last year. He had the odd bad game, but at the start of the season, he's fresh. And last year, start of the season when he was fresh, he went big. So I think same thing now for him. So I might as well get his points while he's fresh. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.